You guys all good with that? Let's just get this done, and we'll see what I can do with it.
Yeah.
Make it happen, Kevin. And hey, you guys, word of warning. I think you guys all know I have 5 kids. And I made everybody leave the house for this project like I've done the last couple times because I got gigged the first time that there was a little background noise. She marked some bits off. So I threw my family out. They're going to come back at some point here. So,
Me too.
Just heads up.
I have 4 kids and 4 dogs, and they're all due back before long.
Yep.
Okay. Does anyone actually have the luxury of 2 screens?
I do. Well, no, not really. Mine's split.
Because I'm just looking at this and like it's gonna kind of suck if I can't do this.
I'm recording it also.
What's that?
I'm also recording it.
You are?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Are you just saying the agenda? Like I can pull the agenda up.
No, I've got the agenda on my iPad, but I've got other tabs.
Like stuff you're gonna say.
Yeah.
Oh.
It is what it is. Let's just do this.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna start recording.
Okay.
Okay, everyone, we're going to start our Lesson 15 discussion. Thanks for being here. So for the first thing on our agenda today, let me just start by going back over our problem question, which is how can we reduce the negative impacts of factory farming on the environment? So let's begin by going back over our discuss solutions. So if you guys remember, we've got 3 things here. We've got government regulations ensuring compliance with environmental standards. And number 2, we've got an educational and marketing campaign for reduced meat consumption. And for number 3, we've got bioengineering animals, feed, and lab-grown meat substitutes. So let's begin by just refreshing ourselves on those topics because I know that we broke those down a little bit into more specific items. So I can kick it off by just talking about the first thing that we discussed. I know that we talked a little bit about an idea that John had, which is implementing a tag system. So John, can you remind us a little bit about what you mentioned before with that?
Yeah, so my basic idea was to mimic or copy what they do currently in the fishing and game and wildlife industry, where each farmer would receive X amount of tags based on some criteria. So criteria number 1 would be the size of the farm and their ability to manage and handle their waste, handle the amount of food that was coming in, some other criteria. And then that would be all the farmer would get for that entire growth season. So they'd get, 1,000 tags, whatever it is. And then they would be, the government would come in and do some type of like audit or something. And if the farmer failed to be in compliance with whatever the standards were, then the tags would be taken away completely or reduced until they could get their standards up to the acceptable standard level.
Okay, awesome. Does anyone else have other standards, regulations that they want to bring back up just so we can talk about that a little bit more?
Just, I'd like to talk about land preservation with what Lauren usually brings up is the prohibition of new factory farms and that relates to protecting the land that we have so that we are not expanding on those farms and clearing out extra trees and things like that.
Right.
That and then the Clean Water Act too, Will. I'd like to point out that it is in effect back from 1972, I believe, but they're still not really enforcing it with factory farming where the animals are being housed and the meat is being processed.
Okay, that's good.
And then I can interject also. Yeah, I love water protection there, Steve, and that was something that I had looked at as well. Just monitoring the water treatment and ensuring that contaminants are actually being removed. But another thing that I think would help along those same lines is the development of best practices for factory farmers that would be nationwide across the board criteria that they would need to meet for the preservation of safe practices, for the enhancement, creation even, I suppose, of safe farming practices.
And something I could add to that is that the government could add a regulation to to the extent of bioengineering feed, that feed has to be bioengineered to have specific nutrients in it. Like, for instance, when I explained to you guys that just 2% of seaweed in the animal's daily intake could reduce methane emissions by 70%.
Right. Okay, so that's good. That's a great refresher for point number one there. We also talked about the educational and marketing campaign for reduced meat consumption, and I know that we discussed a few different things in regards to that. I believe it was Mary and Raeanna who were really spearheading the idea of introducing this kind of campaign into the schools and getting people accustomed to that at a young age. Can you guys add a little bit more on that as well?
Well, I think that it would have to be something similar to Michelle Obama's act, where she made food in schools more nutritional for kids, so that kids were getting a nutritional balanced diet. Basically, if we start at that level with children, explaining to them what factory farming is, the effects that it's having on the environment, and ways that they can help reduce those effects. For instance, all my life, recycling has been campaigned hugely in school. So, I mean, it's just another thing that needs to be added to the school system to raise awareness for kids.
And I think the other arm of that campaign would actually be geared toward our adults and our policymakers, so that we could be providing different ideas. I think people tend to like the status quo. People tend to fear change. And we would need to be encouraging folks to think a little differently. We could encourage through a lobbying effort, through grassroots efforts, recipes that are meatless but that still provide all the good protein, maybe with legumes or some other form of plant-based protein, and just giving people the basics that they would need to incorporate that into daily life. I think that people don't do that because they just don't know how.
And possibly incentives. I'm sorry, John, go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead. I'll go after you.
I was just going to say possibly incentives for the places who make alternative meats, tofu-based, plant-based meats. Incentives for them to produce and advertise, and also for the consumers to purchase those items, which are generally really expensive.
Right.
Yeah, and I'd like to go back and touch upon the school education. So I think you brought up two important points. One would be introducing that food during lunch, so something that they would actually get used to during their lunch, whether it's something that was given at a discount or something along those lines, where the kids were eating at lunch, and then making it part of the home economic, the cooking classes that they used to give us in school. I don't remember the name.
That's home ec. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All right.
But teaching everybody how to cook these individual ingredients and having fun with it, and kind of learning at a young age how to play around with different spices or whatever it is to make it so that it was digestible, and something that the kids would grow up liking and wanting to eat.
And being familiar with.
Oh, go ahead.
I think as far as like a marketing strategy is using social media would be a good way, because I'm all, like when I see on Facebook these like tasty videos, it's always like not always unhealthy food, but it's people are cooking, but a lot of the time it is, and it's desserts and stuff. So if they put like more vegetarian options or just like more meatless options, then I think like people will watch them. They'll get out fast and like they're like intriguing to watch. And I think I don't know, they'll seem more appealing.
That's
I
a
also
great
think,
idea.
going back to John's with exposing the kids to the other options, I think at a young age, and I see this with my nephews, and I know it happened with myself, I wasn't exposed to a lot of different alternatives. My dad basically made hamburger helper and hot dogs, and that's what we grew up on. So I think exposing kids to different alternatives earlier in life would expand their knowledge, and they just kind of they learn at that age, and then they grow with that stuff.
Yeah, I think another aspect of this as well is putting some powerful marketing ideas behind some of those like alternative companies, like you guys kind of talked about a little bit, getting the public image of meat alternatives to change. And I think doing that through showing like, if you've got a Burger King burger on a commercial, it's going to show you how juicy and delectable and great this looks. And let's run a commercial like that for Beyond Burger, Impossible Burger, where you've got the juice running off of it, and you've got all the same kind of attributes to show people like this is nothing to be scared of. This is definitely something that we can work with and enjoy. So I think that's another part of that as well.
I agree.
So let's just move on here to, because we got to wrap up the first section. Let's move on to the last one. We've got the bioengineering of animals, feed, and lab-grown meat substitutes, which we touched on a little bit in that last one. It kind of blends, but so I know this was a big thing for Raeanna and Steve. Actually, let's start with Steve. If you can remind us a little bit about not just the bioengineering side of things, but also the conversion of the emissions, because I feel like that kind of falls underneath bioengineering as well.
Well, with the manure produced by the animals, we would be able to offer incentives that if they start taking care of their treatment plants and their manures that they're keeping around, and so it wouldn't leak into the water or through the land, we would offer them incentives that where they could, when they change this over, and we can give them like a grant where they can put this machinery in, and it would help them kind of clean up the environment, plus make a renewable fuel source that could be used for other things besides, like the fossil fuels that we're using now to heat homes and businesses. And everything can be done on site, and we can make a cleaner energy using what is effectively destroying the environment right now.
And I know we also talked about the physical bioengineering, and John talked a little bit about like lab-grown meat, and I know Raeanna talked a little bit about that as well. So do you guys have anything to add there, just so we can all remember these types of solutions?
Yeah, so go ahead.
No, my interjection was that I already said what I had to say on the matter just like a few minutes ago. So yeah, your turn.
Okay. So just as a refresher, the lab-grown meat option would be something where we would chemically engineer cells in the lab that would replicate the taste, texture of meat without actually having to farm animals. So you'd get the meat out of everything, but you wouldn't have the waste. You have to feed them. You'd have a lot less water to actually grow and produce this meat. We just need to get past the expense right now.
Hey, did you guys know that Tyson is investing in animal cell meat?
I think I maybe heard that, but
because all meat is animal cells. So are they investing
So they're producing they're instead of raising the animals, they're just raising the meat. They're making the meat out of the cells, which I think John touched on last time we talked.
So that is, yeah, so lab-grown meat. They're doing
Exactly. Sorry.
That's cool. I like
And
that.
I saw a meat alternative made out of rice, and beans, and then they threw it into a 3D printer and printed a steak that had the same consistency and texture of a meat product.
Oh.
3D printer?
Nutrition.
And
That's
nutrition.
cool.
Mhm.
Wow.
Okay, well, I think that's a really good refresher on all of our solutions. So let's talk about each one of those in the framework of our criteria that we established. I listed the 5 criteria that we kind of settled on last time. So let's just go one by one through our solutions and assess them in terms of these different criteria. So to begin with, we have the government regulations ensuring the compliance with environmental standards that we discussed. And the first criteria for that we should consider is the cost effectiveness. So what is going to cost the farmers? What's it going to cost the government to implement this? So on and so forth.
I mean, considering that the government doesn't really have any regulations in place right now, I think it's going to be very costly for both them and the farmers. The farmers, losing money because now they can't just do whatever they want, whenever they want, and the government for having to invest in creating some regulations that essentially will, affect their bottom line.
Well, and what is the alternative? What is that going to cost us? Is it worth more than whatever the costs of regulations would be?
That's a good
I
question.
think the actual cost is kind of an unknown for us, but we can take a look at other industries that have been regulated by the government in the past. Coal production, electrical power, vehicle, air transportation, fishing, oil and gas. We can look at some of the other industries that were regulated by the government in the past and kind of add for inflation and whatever else to come up with a close idea of what it could look like. Along with effectiveness.
Well, and the other thing is the government stands to gain a little money because it's going to take some time for those big farms to get in line. So if they're penalized monetarily, then the government would actually end up paying money rather than.
Which could essentially help pay for whatever costs are incurred. Regulations and fines because of failure to comply would actually be part of what could cover the costs.
That's
I read in a Forbes article this week that the Beyond Meat, I know I keep harping on them, but the Beyond Meat company is about to go public pretty soon here, and they were recently valued at $1.2 billion. And they're starting out at about $20 a share. So I think as much as you might kind of be able to argue that the GDP could suffer a little bit if we were to regulate these farms, because I think that's a real possibility. I also think that there's such a rise and demand for the alternatives that we may be able to uncover like a lot of financial gain through that market.
Yeah.
You need a powerful lobby. Really. I mean, that's the bottom line. And if they're worth that much, then they can afford some serious lobbying presence.
Yeah, and I know I brought this up last time, but when we replaced the whale oil, when John Rockefeller had his company, Standard Oil, whatever it was called. It started out something similar, and literally what drove the change was having that alternative that was there, and ended up being something that literally wiped out the entire whaling industry.
So do you guys think that we can say that this, in terms of cost effectiveness, that this passes that criteria?
I think so.
Big
I would
picture,
agree.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say big picture, maybe not in the short, like very short run, getting those requirements almost implemented. But in the long run, once like people start paying them, I think it could really, yeah, be good.
Let's
And again,
talk
we
a
still
little.
have the future to look forward to if we do implement these regulations.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's go on here and talk about impact. Does it pass our impact criteria? Is this going to make enough of a difference to really curb the effect on the environment?
Yeah, I think it would.
Long term, yeah, absolutely.
Once those big factory farms start getting hit in the wallet, they're going to start making the changes that will eventually reduce their footprint, their carbon footprint of the earth.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're not suggesting replacing with anything that would require another natural resource to take its place. It's something that should be able to be relatively built or designed with little natural resources used.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that our research up to this point has shown that these farms really need to be reined in as far as the environmental effects. And I think everybody has brought up really good points about that. So I agree. I think this definitely passes the impact criteria. What about time frames? We talked about that. Is this going to be implemented fast enough to be able to have the impact and the the other factors work. Is this going to be is the time frame an issue here?
Well, we're already experiencing global warming, and in part because of the environmental effects that factory farming has on us. So we've already run out of time. So, I mean, any amount of time that we start, starting now is the best choice for us. Otherwise, we need to get started.
Yeah.
I think we know this is going to take a while, so like as soon as possible is like the better option.
Right. I'm a little bit worried that the solution with all the lobbying against it may take years to implement because you've got such big money behind people who don't want to see those industries curbed,
Right.
Well, alternatives, you don't need the lobbying. If there's a cheaper alternative out there that the public is willing to consume, you don't really need the alternative.
Right. If you get enough consumers to buy a good alternative product, then it's, like the supply and demand. The supply will go down because the demand is going down. So
as far as the awareness campaigns go, it only takes one generation of kids going through, one generation of kids in the school system to teach them a new way. I know that recycling wasn't a thing for my mom's generation, but ever since my generation, it's been a thing. So, it only takes 10 years.
I think though, when we look at this issue, that's a great point, that we need one generation to become better educated about this issue and make some changes. The thing is, we could have a great alternative product, and we could market it like champs, and we could get it in the schools, and we could get it on TV, and we could do social media campaigns. But the bottom line is that the cattle industry has bigger money, bigger pockets. They have the lobbying presence. They're going to do marketing campaigns. They're already doing it. Think about it. Beef, it's what's for dinner, right? And they are already putting out great recipes and images and all kinds of things. And so I think that we need to bear in mind that any solution that we were to support has to take into account the fact that there will be opposition to our solution.
Absolutely, there will be backlash.
Right. There will. There's always going to be opposition to any one person's idea, because not everyone's going to think alike. But I think that this is probably something that will take time, and as time goes on, I think the more we educate them younger and younger, it'll kind of pick up.
some kids are home.
So this is I think that's coming from your end, Stephen. So thank you. So let's just get this moving. This is all great conversation. We do have a lot to get through here.
One more thing about the time. I know we're all running late here, but when it comes to timing, I think the scientists that doomsday clock was the 2050 year. So
right. And I think I think this. I think what you guys are all saying, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, but I think what you're all saying is that it doesn't really matter what the time frame is because we need to do something. But I do think that this particular solution is gonna take some time. It may pass better than the other solutions that we have, but for now, I think this is sort of a like maybe for us. Let's talk about feasibility. That's the next one. How possible is it to get this done? And I think that piggybacks a little bit off of what we were just saying. For me, I think just looking at what like Mary said, what's stacked up against it. Is it feasible? Yes. Difficult? Yes. I don't know. It seems like maybe that ties in a bit to what we just kind of talked about.
Yeah.
I agree.
Mm-hmm. It can be done, but it's going to be difficult.
Right. Finally, let's talk about sustainability, which I think this one hits it pretty good because if you can implement these policies right, this is going to be something that continues to work over time. But what do you guys think about that?
Yeah, I agree. Mm-hmm. If we can get things implemented and running, then yeah, I think it'll be sustainable for a very long time.
And also, if we can get the education and the awareness out there so that other people feel as strongly about the situation.
I think it goes back to like what you said about like one generation needing to like start it and like really like stick with it, and then like it'll just be like a domino effect and like continue on.
Yeah. Okay. So just in a summary for the first one, we've got 3 of our criteria we feel like it passed, and 2 we feel like would be difficult, but definitely possible. So that's pretty good as far as our criteria goes. But let's see how we can do with the other 2 here. So the next one we need to talk about is the educational and marketing campaign for reduced meat consumption. We touched on it a little bit, but let's dive into that. How cost effective is that going to be, and how much money is that going to take to get that movement really going?
I mean, that's kind of hard to say because if you think about it, where it take the 8 of us for example. If we travel around to different schools, even just our local schools, you would be paying. We'd have to take the cost of traveling and educational materials and things like that into consideration. So it could get costly if just a few people are doing it. If you had a wider array of people, the cost probably would go down.
We would definitely need to start campaigning for lobbyists right away so that we would have people to fund us.
Yeah, I think we need funding for sure, but also with what I was saying earlier, social media is free. So like if we all kept posting about it and like telling everyone and they started, like it could just be like a really good effect. So I don't know, it could go either way, but I feel like you want like a real marketing campaign, like you would have to pay for it. If we want to go to schools, we have to pay for it. Like come up with like those educational tools.
Even like a 15-second video we throw up on YouTube. Like you see the kids watching now and they get that 5-second, 10-second ad in front of their videos.
There you
These
go.
Even as inconsequential as that would help.
It doesn't take much, and it doesn't cost, much to hire someone who's good with something that's just eye-catching. You know what I mean? The generation that we are targeting, like, isn't, it's like a younger generation. So if we get something colorful and jazzy and something that's better than and cooler than the meat products, and if we find that next cool big thing, and that YouTube idea is really good, because my little brother constantly, I'm sure you guys know, that would be like, and it wouldn't, I don't think it would be super, costly either, depending on if you would find get the right material and everything.
I think we would get our bang for our buck, especially if we were to contact alternative companies who make meat-based meat alternatives, and get them to start funding part of the campaign. I mean, it stands to be in their favor that they would make more money if more people ate alternative products.
Yeah.
I think oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think that there's more cost involved than maybe maybe we realize, because if we were going to go into, say, schools, right, we'd want to be in all the schools nationwide, and so we're talking about tens of thousands of facilities, and we would need to be able to leave printed materials outlining our mission and our goals and our vision, and maybe recipes and those kinds of things for people. And I know for my organization, I pay $1 a piece for a full color brochure to hand out to people. So that's not cheap when you're talking about the amount of printed material that we would need alone, much less staffing and reimbursing people for gas, going to those schools, hiring the marketing team, doing all the campaigning. I know that YouTube, we could post videos essentially for free. We could do some social media work for free, but there's a lot more to it than that when you're doing a marketing campaign. And I think that, but just because it would be expensive doesn't mean it wouldn't be worth it. Doesn't mean it wouldn't be doable. Doesn't mean it wouldn't be important. And there's some ways to negate costs. And I think that if we were to actually do this, right, we could open up a nonprofit, and we could have a 501c3 arm that could accept charitable contributions, and we could take those contributions from, say, the soybean farmers, and then we can have a 501c5 arm that would be allowed to participate in lobbying activities and go try to impact change that way. So there are ways around the cost, but the cost, I think, would be more sizable than maybe on first glance.
I think I definitely agree with that, Mary. I think it's easy to underestimate, but reading an article that I looked at from a site called Upwork. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with it, but it's a reputable freelancing site that people get on to promote themselves as their own business and do things like social media marketing and the like. And there's a couple of pretty staggering numbers on here. I mean, they state that running a social media campaign can cost anywhere from $4,000 to $7,000 per month, upwards to $20,000. And you've got a couple of factors to consider here. And this is just for social media, but you've got content creation, paid advertising, data analytics, project management. It's a pretty involved process that a grassroots movement is great, but it may not be effective enough. And I think that a professional campaign can run up the cost quite a bit.
Yeah.
I really think Claire, for my money, has the best idea here with the social media. I understand what you just reviewed and went over. But I think $20,000 a month on a large scale really is not a lot, especially for the entire country. If we go back looking at printing stuff off for $1 a piece for color, do $10,000 per school. Who knows how many schools are around? I really think $20,000 really is not that bad. And this would be one of those kind of momentum things where once you got it going, I think it should eventually take a life of its own. So I don't really think $20,000 really would be something that would prevent this program from moving forward at all. I think that's a really, really low cost for what we're talking about and impact.
Yeah, it's a good point, and I think that it compared to government regulations, that might be a drop in the bucket. You know. Let's move on here because I know we've got to go over some more things. So let's quickly talk about impact. You guys, I think you all seem pretty passionate about the impact that this will have in a generation that grows up with this kind of awareness, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Or the generation that grows up without it. I mean, either way, there's going to be a big impact.
That's true.
Yeah. The one thing that does concern me is the time frame, because I think that compared to, it depends, I guess. It depends on how, like John said, if this takes a life of its own or not, but it could potentially take, a decade or more to get this really into society. But I don't know. What do you guys think?
I think at that point, a decade or more into this, we'll start seeing more of the negative effects impacting our daily lives. With global warming and the weather patterns and polar ice caps melting and just, this isn't a report on global warming, but it's showing.
Yeah. And I would also throw in there some of the diseases that we've seen when we have so many antibiotics that are thrown at a species and we become immune to it. And that's just going to grow over time.
Right. So once again, we're kind of in this space where we said, time frame important, but maybe the least important of all of our criteria. So, let's talk about feasibility and sustainability. What do you think about how easy is it going to be to get people to adapt to this, and how consistently, how down the road are people going to stick with it, or are they going to abandon this like a trend after a while?
I think some people will jump on the train and quickly jump off, and I also think that there are people that will stick with it. As I've mentioned in the past, since doing this whole group thing, I've kind of been curious about other types of non-meat foods that can replace everything. Just getting the knowledge out there will make people curious enough to at least explore it and decide for themselves if they want to stick with it or not.
So Betsy's going to kill me, but I don't have anything to reference here. But I do know that if you take somebody at a very, very young age and you teach them the correct way of eating, their body eventually will crave that particular food or nutrition. Start off at a very young age and start feeding individuals a certain food. Over a period of time, even if they do walk away from it, periods throughout their life, they will crave that particular food. So the fad part kind of goes away after a while. It's something where the body kind of takes over and you simply want and desire that particular style of food.
Right. If there's a way to make this part of people's diets, then that's how it will be. That it won't be a fad anymore. It'll be part of their diet.
That's true.
Why we're in the grammar schools.
Yeah, there was an article I looked at in Psychology Today, which referenced this study where, like John said, like all it takes to really cement something as a habit is maybe 60 to 70 days. I mean, it says here 66 days. So that's really nothing for somebody who does this for years growing up. And I think for kids implementing this in schools, I think that's huge in terms of sustainability going forward. So I think it checks that box.
Yeah, I agree, definitely.
Okay, let's do our last one here, and then we'll move on to kind of talk about which one we are going to go with for our chosen solution. So The bioengineering, animal feed, and lab-grown meat substitutes will also throw in there the idea of engineering and converting the waste to sustainable fuels as a part of that as well. How do we feel about the cost effectiveness of that? It seems like, cutting edge science is typically pretty expensive to implement. What do you guys think?
Right. I
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah, I think initially cutting edge science is always very expensive. I forgot the exact cost. I think the very first computer was an IBM computer. It was like $35,000 a computer.
Right.
We're all looking and using computers now. We probably paid $500 for and that neighborhood. So, like with everything else, technology always gets cheaper. So I wouldn't really consider that to be too much of a long-term issue. And we've already seen it come down already. So.
Do you think that ties into the time frame? I mean, is it going to come down in terms of price quickly enough to implement it on a large scale?
I would think so. I think the first hamburger, if I remember correctly, was $700 just for one burger, and it's down to I don't remember the cost anymore. I think it's like $35, whatever it is, burger now.
For lab-grown meat.
Yes. So
that's great.
The price is coming down significantly, and I think the more people you get involved in it, the more that start investing technology, and the more brains you have looking at this one issue. Eventually, I think the price will come down where it is competitive to actual farmed meat.
But even if it's around for a while, like even with the renewable fuel system, the renewable fuel system's like $5 million, but you'll be making something that you could sell, and sooner or later that investment is going to pay for itself and then start generating revenue for you. I mean, the research that I did with the renewable fuel source was $5 million in the first 3 years. That system is paid off, and now you are making money. Who's to say it won't be the same thing with the lab-grown meats or the lab feed that we were talking about?
And the cost of capital is always offset by the market price of the product. So, I mean, if farmers are paying more for the land and the equipment that they use in order to put the product out, the product is just going to be more expensive, which alternatively ends up curbing meat consumption because of price and taking care of the problem in another way.
Right. And I think that brings us a little bit into some of the other criteria, because if you've got, like you kind of pointed out there, Raeanna, it's all kind of cyclical, and it all benefits, in that way. And I think that the impact, just like the cost effectiveness, is going to continue to grow over time. And so I think and that kind of lends itself to a sustainable kind of approach as well. So it's kind of, to me, it seems like it checks a lot of the boxes, but I would be concerned about feasibility, mainly because I think that out of all three of these solutions, this is the solution that does not already have the most steam behind it. I think it's growing, but I think it's I don't know. What do you guys think about that?
I think the biggest problem that I see is with backlash. People already have a big problem with genetically modified food. So I think we'd see a lot of backlash in that area with lab-grown meat and genetically modified animals, people thinking that it was animal abuse.
I think if we pose a question, right on Times Square, pose a question about would you rather go vegan or would you rather try some lab-grown meat? I think people would probably start leading in the direction of lab-grown meat.
It'd be adventurous for sure.
I'd try it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just thought lab-grown meat kind of sends me into a stomach-turning nonsense.
Yeah. I think a lot of
I'd rather find other approach than lab-grown meat.
I think it's this one's a tough one because I think it is controversial, and I think it's really important, but at the same time, I think it's harder in terms of like awareness and in terms of implementation when you look at that on a big scale versus implementing regulations for instance. I think that's something that you can get a lot of people behind. So I don't know. It's tough. All right. Let's move on here. We've done a lot of good discussion about this. Before we move on, is there anything else anyone wants to contribute in terms of these criteria?
I just want to say that I think the issues of lab-grown meat or meat alternatives, right? So plant-based proteins are pretty much the same. I think that taking on some kind of a campaign for public awareness and to change people's minds and move them away from factory farmed meats. I think those processes would be the same whether we were discussing lab-grown meat or plant-based proteins. And so I feel like for the purpose of this discussion and looking at the various criteria that would be needing to be in place to make one of those things work, they're the same for those two solutions.
Yeah, that's a really good point, Mary, and I think that brings us to kind of our last item on the agenda, which is that which one of these is going to be the most effective? Because what you're saying is that, at least what I believe you're saying is that by implementing our second solution of the awareness and education campaign, you're almost simultaneously accomplishing part of the third solution. Is that correct in what I'm hearing?
No. No, I was actually just saying in terms of cost, in terms of need as far as what would have to be set up, what would have to be put in place. They both would require a huge marketing campaign and changing public opinion. And so when we evaluate what to do based on time span that it would require, money that it would require, likelihood of success, I think all those criteria are going to be the same, whether we're talking about genetically modified lab-produced meat products or plant-based products. I think the solution would require the same types of intervention and cash and time.
Got it.
And I think the three solutions we've chosen kind of mix with each other. I don't think any one is better than the other, but that maybe all three of them could be implemented to complement one another.
Mm-hmm. They would complement each other.
I totally agree. Unfortunately, for the purpose of this exercise, we do need to pick one. So go ahead, Claire.
I was just going to say, I think the marketing campaign, like in campaign is probably going to be like our best, like I think the fastest way to do it and the cheapest, like at this time.
I agree. I think that's a good start. And if we were going to implement all three of these, I think we should start with the educational and marketing campaigns to raise awareness and then, move on to some of the others. But for the purpose of this group chat here, I agree with Claire that the second one is definitely our best option.
I agree.
I agree as well.
Yeah.
Why?
Considering all the criteria, I think so too.
Yeah, I agree. I think this would be domino one for me. So I agree.
Yeah, I'm in agreement too, guys, and I think that another thing to add to that is the fact that you've got we just lost Stephanie for a second there, but we got some things, like I said, with like Mary talked about, and a couple of us have talked about. We've got some implementation, bioengineering, and the government regulations that are at least in their formation. And I think that the awareness and education campaign is, like John said, domino number one to get this really solved. So cool. The chat's going kind of crazy right now. We might want to hang on. Are you back, Stephanie?
I am. I don't know what happened.
Okay.
Ended.
All right. So, anyways, on to the implementation. We should talk about that a little bit. And I know we've sort of discussed this, but let's talk about how we see the education and awareness campaign being implemented. What is that going to look like?
Well, I think it starts with not just like I mentioned before. It's not just
I'm
teaching
busy,
kids
be
in
quiet.
grade schools. We've got to educate each other on the same plane, because you can, for example, I can teach my nephews who are very young and impressionable
Girls!
anything I want about alternative meats. As a matter of fact, my brother is a vegan. He can teach them about everything, but if my sister and my brother-in-law don't come forward and say, yeah, that's a good idea, then the kids aren't going to learn anything.
For me, the implementation, and I hate to keep going back to this, it would literally be just with the social media. I think that would be the first place I would start off, and then kind of assessing from there what type of impact I was having on it. I will shamefully admit that I've watched those tasty videos and tried out several recipes.
Me too.
It works on me, so I think that's an excellent way of introducing some of these subjects. Just making it fun and showing people exactly the possibilities are.
Right, and that way, even, I mean, like we said, we just admitted to watching those and attempting to do those. That is like our generation, and as well, because we're sort of talking about, like, getting into schools and getting into hit the younger generation, but that's something for older people, like people who are already used to just eating like meat that could really work for, I think. So I think that would be a good way to implement it. Yeah.
I think that if we're talking about making a big impact as far as nationwide or even worldwide, but let's focus on nationwide. Each of us uploading a video is doing nothing. I think that we need an organization. We need to establish an organization of some kind. I would say a nonprofit with a couple different arms that could take on the social media campaign and reach people across the country.
Yeah, an idea is that, like, if you get maybe like all these social media like apps and stuff have a lot of people who are like influencers or celebrities. So I feel like if you got like reached out to like one of them and they got on board with it, then they will be telling like thousands or millions of people, and like it can really make like a big impact fast.
Having a spokesperson.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
I think I watch a lot of Food Network because I'm crazy, but they don't have a vegan chef or an alternative chef. Like everything you see is, like not Paula Deen so much anymore, but it's everything with meat, or just throw it with a salad. But meat is always the star. I feel like we might even make some foot traffic by appealing to Food Network and giving them an alternative type show that they should produce. And then we'll be on TV.
And adding to that, possibly a PBS type station that's dedicated to alternative recipes and cooking, but open to the public, funded by the public.
Anything else anyone wants to add on implementation before we go to the Q&A?
No.
Okay. Let's move on. So I've got a couple questions here. First one is sorry guys, hang in there. 1 second. I lost it. This has been just fun, hasn't it?
The last one, it's got to go out with a bang.
I can't believe we didn't have any problems on the other, trying to do the other ones. So now on this one, it's like such a problem.
It's the way it goes.
Right. So right.
Okay. So question number one is, which current programs or laws are the best at addressing issues related to factory farming and why? And this is something where we need to get an answer from everybody individually. And if you can please try to cite research that you found in regards to this question. And if you need me to repeat it, I can do that.
Okay, well, I found a website.
Could you repeat it?
Okay, so I'm going to repeat it, and then I'm going to go ahead and start off with myself. Which current programs or laws are the best at addressing issues related to factory farming and why? So for me, I found on EPA.gov that there is a National Pollutant Discharge Elimination System permit that is required for factory farms. The permit will require the facility to sample its discharges and notify EPA and the state regulatory agency of these results. In addition, the permit will require the facility to notify EPA and the state regulatory agency when the facility determines it is not in compliance with the requirements of the permit. So basically, what this is talking about is specifically in terms of discharges. Discharges to water in the United States. So it's talking about needing a permit for the factory farm if their runoffs are entering water in the U.S. So I think that's something that's in place that it's at least monitoring. As far as effectiveness, I'm not totally sure, but it's a step in the right direction. I think it could be improved, but that's what I found in my research. So Anybody like to go next on that?
I'd love to, Will. Oh, who did I interrupt? I'm sorry.
That's all right. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I also looked at the EPA and looked at the Clean Water Act. Section 404 has to do specifically with agriculture and farming, with the ponds and streams that are on the property that often are either completely made of or housed or are contaminated by wastewater from the animals and the livestock. And essentially, just farms really aren't exempt from the Clean Water Act, but it doesn't seem that the act itself is very enforceable in its current state. There's not a lot of regulatory control going on.
Or enforcement on that as well.
Right.
So I would go away. I would look more towards the FDA, which they already have kind of a strong compliance policy out there for food and drug, and I would use that to monitor not only the food, but also the amount of antibiotics that were being used.
Mm-hmm.
What I found was also on the EPA's website. It was a section by the USDA and EPA's national performance expectations, and it goes over a list of comprehensive nutrition management plans. And among the list items on those plans are feed management, manure handling and storage, land application of manure, land management, record keeping, and other utilization options. So I felt like those went a long way in covering some of the things that we talked about.
Mm-hmm.
I was looking at the National Environmental Policy Act. It was just a basic charter for protection of the environment and make it was supposed to make everything harmonious between man and everything he comes in contact.
So I was looking at the USDA's animal care program, where this is going to sound really bad, so you might want to close your ears. But part of the act is the Humane Slaughter Act, which is also known as Humane Methods of Slaughter Act, and the Humane Methods Livestock Slaughter Act. And what it does is it's designed to protect food animals both prior and during their moment of death. There's a lot of really terrible, inhumane ways that these animals are being treated to make killing them easier. But this act prohibits them from doing things like chaining chickens into an electric bath to give them a shock so they stand still.
Yeah, it's supposed to make them unconscious, but that says a lot of it doesn't work half the time.
Right.
Right, yeah. Something that I found that was a little bit related to maybe stopping factory farms or stopping them from growing on the Animal Legal Defense Fund here. It's the ALDF.org, but they go and the NEPA actually requires for federal agencies to go in and conduct like reviews on the environment and on just how their surroundings and everything before they grant any sort of loans to new factory farms like to build anymore, which I think is very good, because if the tests in the environment were already really bad, then you can't add on and to put more factory farms in there, which is just going to pollute even more. So I thought that was really good. I didn't realize that was.
I found one. It's the USDA's Animal and Plant Health Inspection Services, and it's from the National Humane Education Society. And it basically is like monitoring better of factory farming and like the inspection of it. So it says these efforts support the overall mission of the USDA, which is to protect and promote food, agriculture, and natural resources about factory farming.
Awesome. Great job, guys. Good research there. So question number two is there anything we might do with education to prevent the negative impacts of factory farming? Let's open that back up, because I know we did a lot of that, but let's just quickly go back over that.
I feel like we went over that at length, just basically implementing campaigns, educational campaigns in elementary schools for children to start learning, just like we did with recycling and other things like that.
Yeah, I think just introducing it to people while they're young.
Yeah, and Mary talked about creating an organization with the ability to lobby and also implement the campaign itself, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Smart, Mary.
Finally, if you had unlimited power and resources, what would be the first way you would address this issue?
Oh, wow.
I think for me, I think for me, if I had unlimited power and resources, I would get the bioengineering stuff like done. Like I would be like, this is now a possibility. Let's get this out to the public and screw the costs. It's going to be done.
Definitely agreeable.
Yeah.
That's the most effective, I think, solution, but definitely the most expensive.
So this, I would regulate that fast food places were only allowed to sell lab-grown meat or clean meat.
I love it.
Only way your fast food is if it's lab.
Yeah.
John, you should know exactly what I was going to say.
I should have kept talking.
I agree. I would implement regulations that would enforce the bioengineering.
Yeah.
Cool.
Two birds, one stone.
All right. Anybody else got anything before we end this?
Well, I'm the lone wolf. I would implement regulations to control the waste management and at the Sting Farms.
Just get those passed right away.
Yep.
Cool. Okay, great job, everybody. I appreciate all your hard work getting to this point, and I know that it was tough to get this going today. So, everyone, good luck with the rest of your finals, and adios.
Bye.
Thank you everyone.
So much. Thank you.
I'm done. Of course you can, Michael. You should.